Friends, how are you doing? It's the weekend, March 29th here. We've got just a little bit left here in March, and then we're going to wrap it up going into April. Everyone knows what's coming here the first week, Wednesday in April here, so tariff situation. Now, trying to make a short little sweet video, and, I'm going to talk a little bit about Tesla here. Obviously, I've been talking about Tesla more, that I'm trying to build a position in Tesla, a very nice position going into the next 5-10 years. This is not something that I'm building overnight. This is something that's going to take a moment here. Now, obviously, Palantir, Palantir, Tesla, I think we're going to see more than not this relationship is going to grow more. Obviously we know Alex Karp, Elon, friends, buddies, know each other. Palantir already being in the White House, Tesla, Elon, obviously. So there's a situation right there that I think is almost a, I don't want to say, there's never 100% certainty in what's going to happen, but it's a pretty solid play into the future. It's a pretty solid play into the future at this moment that we can tell. So going right into Tesla, do I think Tesla stock is going to fall more? I'm hoping. The thing that we saw here in 2024, it was actually not the best year financially with Tesla. They missed a lot of quarterlies. Car sales down. It just wasn't there. Now, with that, why would I be buying Tesla? Why am I buying Tesla? Especially it's so expensive right now. The main reason that I'm buying Tesla right now is 100% because I want to be a part of what's going to happen here the next 5 to 10 years, the next decade of what's coming here with Tesla and turning into something unbelievable here. So, where we might, maybe the next 5-10 years, Tesla could be, producing, $50, $100 billion quarterlies. Now, how could that happen? That could happen because Tesla already, whether you want to admit this or not, obviously, Tesla's already got a huge hand in the EV market. It's, it's still dominating 100%. And then they've still got plans coming up. People are still buying Teslas. Don't be fooled about what's going on here. The second situation with that is that, the taxi situation, the robo-taxi situation that's coming out here that will be unleashed here very soon with Tesla. So that's going to be just unbelievable amounts of money coming in here already to a company that's already making a lot of money. And then third of all is my favorite play of all. It's the robots. And by 2026, we're expecting a huge amount of robots to be roaming around here. And we're going to see them be bought up by warehouses, companies. I think that will, it's weird and crazy to say this because I believe that, I believe a lot of time people are already seeing things in the past that are going to come in the future. So even look at something like the movie I, Robot. As ridiculous as that sounds, you could be looking at 10 years or sooner from now where, robotics, humanoid robotics here, they're mowing grass. They're taking over a lot of jobs. Not to mention, Tesla with the whole semi situation. There's so much different amounts of money that are taking place right now with Tesla. So Tesla has its hands in some very, very needed and expensive avenues when it comes to producing money for them as a company that will be pushing into investors' hands, undoubtedly into the stock price and quarterlies. So from there, we could be in a situation where Tesla could already, again, make another generation of very rich, wealthy people here in the next decade because of what the next stage of Tesla could be here. Cathie Wood just gave an interview here not long ago, just a week or so ago, where she said, hey, we have obviously always believed in Tesla. We've been buying Tesla, and we believe that within the next 5 years, sooner, Tesla will be almost a $3,000 share price, and then from there, undoubtedly, we'll probably be talking about another stock split. So I'm not going to miss this situation, and obviously, I am short term. Tesla could obviously bleed off a lot more. I'm hoping it does. I mean, just as greedy as that sounds, I think a lot of us that are wanting to buy Tesla wouldn't mind to see some more sell off here because undoubtedly the future is going to be very bright with what's coming with Tesla. So I'm not looking right now at Tesla, the EV company. I'm looking at Tesla, the robotics, taxi, EV, whatever else that just comes up here in the next 5-10 years. I mean, who knows what else they could add here. That's what I'm looking at with Tesla right now, 100%. So we could be talking about, double, triple quarterlies of what we're looking at right now, a decade from now, easily, with all these different places right now with big streams of revenue coming in. So that is in a lot of, and I'm saying this because a lot of people when ask me, why are you buying Tesla? It's so expensive. You're going to lose money in this. I get what people are saying in that. I understand that, but this position is going to be something that I am looking at for. This is a long investment here. I want to get in now, even if I do lose money in the short term. I want to get in now for the long term of what's coming. So 5-10 years from now, I can go, thank God I started buying this stock, because now we're seeing robotics come out. Now we're seeing, robotaxi take over here. Now we're seeing, heavy production in the cars again. People buying them again. They come out with a whole new, sports car. The second generation of the Cybertruck. There's a lot coming here. That's going to keep bringing in revenue. So that is my reason why I do think this is a monumental time to start looking at Tesla as a long-term play. 100%. Palantir, obviously, too. I just talked about Palantir, but I think Palantir, I think we're going to see more happen with Palantir and Tesla here. I think there is something bigger brewing here. And obviously, we know these companies have already done stuff together, but I think there's something more that will potentially be bigger here in the future. Now, Palantir itself, this is a company that's about to start producing billion-dollar quarterlies, whether you like that or not. I think majority of us do like that, but Palantir in May here, if we get through April, we're going to be good, but Palantir is going to be producing billion-dollar quarterlies here very soon. Now, Palantir, maybe 5-10 years from now, if Palantir keeps on this trajectory of where it is right now, okay, maybe Palantir will be producing, $5 to $10 billion quarterlies here within 3 to 5 years. Okay, if we continue on this path and Palantir keeps finding these these avenues of enormous amount of wealth coming into them with at such a short time here. So this is another reason why I think these two stocks fundamentally right here that are very hand in hand with the owners, with where they're at, where a lot of their site comes from, where people find out about them, where they see them. These are two companies that are obviously in the White House, and undoubtedly probably the next 4 years are going to be pretty clear cut that they're going to be continuing relationship with the administration. Obviously, it can get very political there real fast, but I'm not trying to get into that aspect. I'm trying to follow the money. As an investor, you're trying to follow the money. You're following the breadcrumbs. So I'm going based off what I see right now. So Palantir, undoubtedly, whether or not it has what it has right now, it is producing amazing quarterlies, and it more than likely is going to keep doing that situation. I'm not going over stock charts. I'm talking about fundamentally the deals, the expectation of what's coming here, and more than likely, both these companies, I would say Palantir more than not right now, will find itself in huge ocean of FOMO here again very soon. If we get through next week, we'll know more what's going to happen next week. And I may eat my words right now. I may eat my words 100%, but I think after we get through with Wednesday and maybe, just maybe, these tariffs turn out not to be that big of a deal, this might be a pump fake, a dump fake, what do you want to say here, to where we could start to see some V-shaped recovery here sooner than we imagine. Now, I'm not saying the market's going to go back up to all-time highs. I don't know about that yet, but just some, the dust settling and finding some calm in this storm that we're in right now, that would be a lot, and that would be huge for investors, because it would show what could be coming here in May with a lot of companies producing their Q1s here, and undoubtedly Palantir being right in that position. So May's coming here, and a lot of these big tech companies, they're going to start producing quarterlies, and they're probably going to beat expectations, quarterlies, and they're going to start pumping up the market again. Okay, so May should be a pretty good month unless we're just something terrible has happened, but April may be a little rocky, but May, I suspect even the last week, 2 weeks in April, will start to pump up in the market because everyone knows what's coming here with a lot of these AI companies. And I know I'm going over these fast, friends. I know I'm going over these fast, but it's the weekend. I know you guys don't want to hear me yap all day here. Going over SoundHound, I am still holding, I have a position in SoundHound at around like $2-3 when I started buying it back in like, I think it was like in September, maybe it was August, when, when SoundHound was like $2-3 and, I was screaming with a mic, with a megaphone, like off a roof, like, look at SoundHound. I was buying it then because I was watching SoundHound, Q1 was pretty good. It was terrible compared to what, Q4 of 2023 was, but still that Q1 was showing that, okay, well, they beat what they were supposed to do here. They beat expectation. Q2 came in here. They just beat it. But then when Q2 was hitting here, they were getting some deals. Then they got that big investment from NVIDIA. Q3 came out here. It was like, oh my God, we're seeing some compounding on these deals. And then more deals from like Q3 was really big because they came out with Q3. It was really good, right under 30 million. And it was like, whoa. Then SoundHound, they started to get some more deals. Started to get deals in Europe. Then NVIDIA came in again and said, hey, we're going to make another investment in SoundHound. And people went, oh my God. So Q3 was really, really big. That was a big moment in time for SoundHound. Then, not long ago, Q4 came out and everything just hit. I mean, all those deals that we were watching in 2024, they just hit all at once. It was like payday. And we saw Q4 hit and it was like, we are right under $40 million. It was the biggest the company had produced with a quarterly, and it was the biggest year they had. It was a huge year for SoundHound. And this year, SoundHound is even saying like, hey, we are right on target to be even bigger. Everything's going well. And they're still locking up some deals here. So, I still think people are not paying enough attention to SoundHound. I really do believe that. SoundHound is building a foundation right now with its stock, with quarterlies, with trust with investors and what's coming here. And undoubtedly, one thing I think most investors may agree on, because, obviously when we talk about stocks, we talk about investing, it is the most ruthless and divided group of people you will probably ever meet, and I love us all, but it's the God's honest truth. We can't agree on anything. But I do think one thing that most of us may agree on is that undoubtedly AI is about to go, tech, AI, software, whatever we're going to say here, chips, all of it, the whole broad span of it is going into it's going to be going into like just steroid use here in the next 5 to 10 years. And we're going to see a lot of these companies that have already been producing massive quarterlies, these tech companies, they're going to continue that, and they're going to keep building out this road that no one can fathom right now. And I mean that about Tesla. I mean that about Palantir. I mean that about SoundHound. SoundHound is pushing into a lot of different weird avenues when it comes to fast food chains. It comes to just random companies, and it comes to, fast food companies. They're getting money from just places that most people would not think. But what they do, their AI audio here, it is moving very, very fast, and people want it. So the good thing is when you see a company continue to get deals, they get more deals off those deals. When a company grows, it's a really good thing, obviously, for many reasons. They're bringing in money. They're getting a lot of attention. People are wanting to work with them more. Usually when you have a company that is already established and making really good money, that company will reach out to whoever they think is the best of where they're at right now. And SoundHound undoubtedly is getting a lot of new business out there. So I think people need to pay attention to SoundHound 100%. Pay attention to SoundHound, what's going on there. Palantir, that's a solid play. I'm in that for a long time. And then you've got Tesla. Tesla, I'm going to be here a while with Tesla, friends. I'm going to be here a while. I really think it's these robots. I think we are going to, I think it sounds funny, it sounds corny, it sounds cheesy, but undoubtedly, I think these humanoid robotics are going to do something that we have never seen, and they could possibly be a whole new production of revenue that we have never seen in the market. We've never seen this before. So, when you have a company that's already making billions and then they add this huge element into their revenue, holy friggin' smokes. Friends, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night playing video games with your family, watching TV, whatever you're doing. Take care, friends. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.